My name is Glory Ovebo. I am a graduate of English and Education from the University of Lagos. I am an educator, I'm a tech enthusiast, and I'm passionate about teaching and bringing tech to young people. Yeah, I realized that a lot of children can do so much more than what they are doing now if they have access to the right information and the right tools to use tech. So I decided to start this side also because the need in Nigeria is great. When you have more young people that want to learn but they don't know how to start learning, and I'll just be a guide to those young people to learn. So I officially started, I learned teaching in school, yes, but along the line I was able to pick up tech and I saw the wonderful things that tech can do for people. So this has influenced me to teach young people because with tech is the future, like they say. So with tech, they can do so much more, and that's where my passion stems from. So usually when you start, you don't start by registering or going around. Of course, the side also you start small. So the advice I'll give to people is start small. When it's time to scale, you will know it is time to scale, and then you can go and get those necessary documents. But don't let that hinder you from starting. So you start small, get your audience, and then grow from there. For social media, you have to put yourself out there. Put whatever you do, the results, testimonials out there for people to see so that you can get more customers. But for me, it's been referral that's been best for me. When someone has benefited from my program or from my training, they tend to tell other people that come. That's what has worked for me. When planning lessons, I usually work at home. I have a workspace at home, like a private office. I set it up so that people are not constantly passing by, just very quiet. And sometimes I work at night where everyone has gone to sleep and everywhere is quiet. That's what makes me productive. To stay organized, I always have my screens. I have my laptop and I have extra screens. I usually have a cup of water because when you talk a lot, you have to drink water. And then I also use some notes. I jot down some things and all those things help me stay productive. I usually use Zoom anytime I have an online class. I use the Google Workspace a lot. That's the Google Slides, the Google Spreadsheet. I also use Microsoft Suite to manage my classes and bring up beautiful presentations for my students. And if I'm teaching web development, sometimes I use GitHub and I'm able to track their progress. But if I'm teaching Scratch, I use this Scratch platform to track their progress. So it really depends on what I'm teaching at that point. I usually plan ahead of the lesson. I mean, before we even have the first lesson, I make sure I plan because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And although that planning is done before the lesson, but once I've had one lesson with the student, I can now change my curriculum depending on what the student needs. When things get challenging, what I usually do is get feedback. So most of the feedback I get from parents, from the student themselves, are usually motivating enough when they're like, oh, I didn't know I could do this, but now I'm doing it. It's usually helped me get going. As a side hustler, it may not be easy starting out, but don't overthink it. As long as you have passion for it, it will keep going and you'll achieve what you set out to do.